Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to the women of strength, the women of faith, the women who have walked through fire and come out refined. I want to speak to the warriors, the mothers, the daughters, the sisters, who have faced battles so fierce that they wondered if they would survive. But hear me today. Your battle is not a sign of your weakness. It is a confirmation of your strength. The enemy does not attack what is weak, he comes against what is powerful. The weight of your struggle is proof of the greatness within you. Look at the women God has chosen throughout history. Esther, a young woman who had to risk her life to save a nation. Ruth, a widow who left everything behind only to be placed in the lineage of kings. Mary, a young girl who carried the Savior of the world in her womb while society whispered about her. Every one of them faced trials, but every one of them carried destiny inside them. You see, purpose attracts pressure. Diamonds don't form without intense heat. Gold is purified in fire. And the woman that God has called to be a light in this world will have to walk through darkness before she shines. Some of you have been wondering, why me, Lord? Why the heartbreak? Why the loss? Why the rejection? But I want to shift your perspective today. You are not being destroyed. You are being prepared. God does not put his strongest soldiers in easy battles. He puts them where they are needed most. The pain you have endured is not wasted. The tears you have cried are not in vain. The betrayal, the disappointment, the struggles, they are all shaping you for the calling God has placed on your life. So, my sister, stand strong, stand in faith, keep pushing, keep believing, keep trusting. Your battle is evidence that you are carrying something powerful inside of you. The enemy wouldn't fight you this hard if you weren't a threat to his plans. You are a woman of destiny. You are a woman of purpose. You are a woman of power. And when the battle is over, you will rise, not broken, but stronger, wiser, and ready to step into the greatness that God has ordained for you. Keep fighting, keep believing. Your victory is already written. Life has a way of testing those who are destined for greatness. Many times, the strongest individuals face the fiercest battles, not because they are weak, but because they have been chosen to carry something significant. A woman who faces adversity is not being punished. She is being prepared. The trials she encounters are not a reflection of her limitations, but a confirmation of her strength. When a woman walks through fire and still stands, it is not because the fire was absent, but because she carried within her a resilience that could not be consumed. The pressures of life do not come to destroy her, but to reveal what she is made of. It is easy to question why the challenges seem unending, why the struggles seem greater than what others endure. But the truth is, God does not invest in anything without value. The weight of the battle is a direct indication of the weight of the purpose. Think about a tree that grows tall and strong. It does not develop deep roots in calm conditions, but in storms, where its ability to withstand the wind is tested. Likewise, the strength of a woman is not built in seasons of ease, but in the moments when she is required to stand firm despite opposition. It is in these seasons that she discovers her true capacity. Every struggle, every hardship, every moment of doubt is refining her, molding her, and positioning her for something greater. A woman does not become strong by avoiding battles. She becomes strong by walking through them and emerging with wisdom, endurance, and faith that cannot be shaken. The weight she carries today is the evidence of the power that lies within her. If she were not strong, she would not have been chosen for the fight. If she were not capable, she would not be given the responsibility of overcoming. The challenges she faces are a testimony of her ability to rise. There are women who have been through betrayal, loss, disappointment, and rejection, yet they continue to press forward. They are not defined by what has happened to them, but by how they respond to it. A woman who refuses to be defeated is a woman who understands that every battle she endures is proof that she carries something worth fighting for. The enemy does not attack what has no value, he only comes after what threatens his plans. When a woman faces opposition, she must shift her perspective. Instead of asking why the battle is so hard, she must recognize that her strength is what draws the battle. Her ability to endure is what makes her a target, but even more than that, her ability to overcome is what makes her victorious. The fire she walks through is not meant to consume her, but to refine her. The pain she experiences is not to weaken her, but to prepare her. There is something about a woman who refuses to break. She may bend, she may feel weary, but she does not give up. She may cry, she may question, but she does not surrender. The enemy fears a woman who knows her strength, because a strong woman is a dangerous woman. A strong woman is a leader, a nurturer, a force that cannot be stopped. And once she realizes that her battles are proof of her strength, she no longer fights from a place of fear, she fights from a place of victory. So let every woman who is walking through a storm today understand this. She is not losing, she is learning. She is not being buried, she is being planted. And in due time, the strength she has gained through her battles will cause her to rise, unshaken and unstoppable. Throughout history, the women who have made the greatest impact were not those who lived easy, comfortable lives. They were the ones who faced hardship, opposition, and pain, yet refused to give up. Every great woman has walked through trials that tested her strength, her faith, and her resilience. These trials were not meant to destroy her, but to shape her into the person she was destined to become. When a woman is chosen for greatness, she must be prepared for the challenges that come with it. She cannot carry a great purpose without experiencing great pressure. The weight of her calling demands that she be refined, strengthened, and equipped to handle the responsibility that comes with it. Every challenge she endures is a step toward her destiny. The difficulties she faces are not obstacles, they are training grounds. The more she overcomes, the more she is prepared to walk in her purpose with confidence and authority. The lives of women who have changed history are marked by pain and sacrifice. Esther, a young Jewish girl, was taken from her home and placed in a foreign palace where she had to hide her identity. She faced the possibility of death, yet she chose to risk everything for the sake of her people. Ruth, a widow in a foreign land, lost everything, yet remained faithful and was rewarded with a future she never expected. Mary, a young girl chosen to carry the Son of God, endured the whispers of society and the uncertainty of what lay ahead. Each of these women walked through difficulties that could have broken them, but instead, those trials proved their strength. A woman who carries a great purpose will often find herself misunderstood, rejected, or facing challenges that others do not. The road to greatness is not a smooth one. It is filled with moments of doubt, seasons of waiting, and times when it feels like everything is against her. But those who endure the process emerge stronger, wiser, and ready for the work they have been called to do. The battles are never without meaning. Every struggle carries within it a lesson, every setback a hidden opportunity for growth. The world may look at the struggles of a woman and see weakness, but in reality those struggles are molding her into someone who cannot be broken. A woman who has been through fire knows how to stand firm. A woman who has faced storms knows how to navigate them. Her trials teach her resilience, patience, and trust in God's timing. What was meant to break her only builds her. What was designed to stop her only pushes her forward. Many women wonder why their journey is filled with so much hardship, while others seem to have it easier. But greatness does not come without a cost. The higher the calling, the greater the preparation. Just as a warrior must go through training before battle, a woman must go through seasons of refining before stepping into her purpose. The things she faces today are not punishment, they are preparation. Each challenge strengthens her character, each hardship builds her endurance, and each loss teaches her how to rise again. It is easy to admire strong women, but few realize what it took for them to get there. Strength is not given, it is built. And it is built through trials. The struggles that a woman faces today are shaping her into the person she needs to be for tomorrow. What she overcomes today will become the testimony that inspires others. She is not just fighting for herself. She is paving the way for those who will come after her. Her endurance, her courage, and her faith will leave a legacy far greater than she can imagine. The moment a woman discovers her purpose, she also discovers the pressure that comes with it. Purpose is not a light assignment. It carries weight. And with that weight comes challenges that test her endurance, faith, and resilience. The greater the purpose, the greater the opposition. It is not a sign that she is on the wrong path, but a confirmation that she is stepping into something significant. Nothing of value is ever achieved without resistance. The pressures she faces are not meant to destroy her, but to prove her strength and prepare her for the responsibility of her calling. A woman with purpose cannot expect an easy road. The weight of what she carries will demand more from her than it does from others. She will have to endure moments of isolation, seasons of struggle, and times when everything around her seems to be working against her. But these challenges are not punishments. They are divine processes designed to refine her. Diamonds do not emerge from the earth fully formed. They are shaped under extreme heat and pressure. Likewise, the purpose inside her must go through seasons of testing before it can fully manifest. Throughout history, those who carried great purpose faced immense pressure. Joseph had a dream of leadership, but before he reached the palace, he was thrown into a pit, sold as a slave, and imprisoned for years. David was anointed to be king, yet he spent years running for his life before he could sit on the throne. Every woman who is destined for greatness must walk through seasons where her faith, patience, and character are tested. These seasons are not setbacks. They are necessary steps toward fulfilling her destiny. A woman who carries purpose will often find herself misunderstood. People may question her vision, doubt her abilities, or criticize her decisions. The pressure of expectation, responsibility, and opposition can feel overwhelming. But pressure is proof that she is on the right path. The enemy does not attack what has no value. If there were no purpose in her, there would be no reason for resistance. The attacks, the struggles, and the obstacles are signs that she is a threat to everything that seeks to keep her from fulfilling her destiny. There will be moments when the pressure feels unbearable, when the weight of her calling seems too heavy to carry. But just as a seed must be buried in darkness before it can grow, she must go through hidden seasons of preparation. The struggles she faces are not meant to stop her. They are meant to build her capacity. She cannot lead if she has never been tested. She cannot inspire if she has never overcome. She cannot step into greatness without first walking through the fire that shapes her into the woman she is meant to be. Purpose requires sacrifice. It demands perseverance, faith, and the willingness to endure seasons of uncertainty. Many give up because they do not realize that the pressure they feel is part of the process. But those who endure, those who refuse to quit, will see the fulfillment of their purpose in ways they never imagined. The struggle is temporary, but the reward is eternal. The pain of the process will never compare to the joy of seeing everything she was created for come to pass. She must remind herself that pressure is not an indication of failure. It is a sign that she is moving in the right direction. Every challenge she faces is shaping her, strengthening her, and preparing her for the doors that will open. When the time comes, she will not only walk in her purpose, but she will do so with wisdom, strength, and confidence. What once felt like pressure will one day be the very thing that propelled her into her destiny. There are moments in life when it feels like everything is falling apart. The struggles seem relentless, the pain feels unbearable, and the disappointments keep piling up. In these seasons, it is easy to believe that life is working against you, that the hardships you face are signs of failure or punishment. But what may seem like destruction is often preparation. What looks like an ending is actually the foundation of a new beginning. Every great story of success, strength, and purpose is built on seasons of struggle. A woman who carries a great destiny cannot be shaped in comfort. Growth does not happen in ease. It happens in the process of endurance, resilience, and faith. The challenges she faces today are not breaking her. They are building her. Every tear, every setback, every disappointment is molding her into the person she is meant to become. It is easy to want the reward without the process, but true strength is developed in the fire. Gold is refined in intense heat, and diamonds are formed under extreme pressure. Likewise, the trials she is facing are refining her character, sharpening her wisdom, and increasing her capacity to carry the greatness inside her. Many times it is only after looking back that one realizes the purpose behind the struggle. The closed doors that once seemed like rejection were actually redirections towards something better. The betrayals that caused pain were necessary for removing the wrong people from her life. The delays that felt like obstacles were actually divine timing, protecting her from stepping into something she was not yet ready for. What may seem like destruction in the moment is often God's way of clearing the path, making room for something greater. It is easy to question why the process is so painful. Why do the struggles seem unending? Why do the challenges come one after another? But there is a simple truth. The stronger the foundation, the greater the structure it can support. A small house does not require a deep foundation, but a skyscraper must be built on a solid, reinforced base. The greater the calling, the deeper the preparation. The difficulties being faced today are not punishments. They are evidence that something great is being built. There will be moments of isolation, times when it feels like no one understands the struggle, when it seems easier to give up. But isolation is often a sign that something is being developed. Seeds do not grow in the open. They are buried in the ground in the darkness before they sprout into something beautiful. The pain of the process does not last forever. What feels like a season of loss will one day be seen as a season of growth. The pressure that seems unbearable will soon reveal the strength that has been developed. A woman who is being prepared must learn to trust the process. The storm is not there to drown her, it is there to strengthen her. The fire is not there to consume her, it is there to refine her. Every challenge is a tool shaping her into the woman she is meant to be. When she finally steps into her purpose, she will understand why she had to go through the struggles. She will see that the pain was not in vain, that every hardship was necessary for the journey. What is happening now is not destruction. It is preparation for something greater. The woman who endures, who refuses to give up, will one day rise stronger, wiser, and more powerful than she ever imagined. The battles are temporary, but the strength gained from them lasts a lifetime. What once felt like an unbearable struggle will soon be the very thing that sets her apart and positions her for the greatness she was created for. Every tear shed, every pain endured, and every challenge faced is not without meaning. The struggles of today are not just random hardships. They are part of a greater plan, shaping and preparing for what is ahead. It may not be easy to see in the moment, but no experience is ever wasted. Every trial carries a lesson. Every setback holds wisdom, and every hardship strengthens the foundation for future victories. There are times when it feels like the difficulties faced have no purpose, as if they are only bringing pain without progress. But in the grand design of life, nothing is meaningless. Just as a seed must be buried in the darkness before it grows, struggles serve as the soil in which strength, wisdom, and resilience take root. It is through adversity that character is built. Without opposition, there is no opportunity to grow. Without resistance, there is no reason to rise higher. Many of the most powerful and successful individuals did not get to where they are without enduring hardship. Their struggles became the very thing that equipped them for their purpose. The pain they once wished away became the testimony that inspired others. What once seemed like an obstacle became the very thing that pushed them toward their destiny. This is the reality of struggle. It does not come to destroy, but to develop, to prepare, and to position for something greater. It is easy to wish away the hardships, to long for a life without difficulties, but without the struggles, the lessons would be lost. Strength is not built in comfort. It is developed in the moments of challenge. Every hardship serves a purpose, even when it is not immediately understood. Looking back, what once seemed like a painful experience often reveals itself as a necessary step toward something better. Seasons of struggle are often seasons of preparation. They teach endurance, patience, and trust. They force reliance on faith rather than circumstances. They strip away what is unnecessary and reveal what is truly important. Without these refining moments, there would be no foundation strong enough to carry the weight of future blessings. The struggles of today are the very thing that will make the victories of tomorrow even sweeter. There is a reason for everything. The disappointments, the delays, and the difficulties are not wasted. They are building resilience, shaping perspective, and preparing for opportunities yet to come. Often, the very thing that seemed like a failure turns out to be a setup for something far greater than was originally planned. What was lost will be restored in ways never imagined. When going through struggles, it is tempting to believe that they serve no purpose, but in time, everything will make sense. The challenges faced today are equipping for a future that requires strength, wisdom, and perseverance. Nothing endured is ever in vain. Every struggle is a step towards something greater, and when the time comes, it will be clear that not a single moment of pain was wasted. From the moment a person is born with a purpose, opposition arises. The challenges, battles, and obstacles that seem unrelenting are not just coincidences. They are signs that something significant lies ahead. A woman who carries a powerful destiny will always face resistance, not because she is weak, but because she is a threat. The enemy does not attack what has no value. he only fights against what carries divine purpose. The struggles endured are not proof of failure but confirmation that there is something inside her worth fighting against. Throughout history, those chosen for greatness have encountered fierce opposition. Before Joseph stepped into his destiny, he was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and wrongfully imprisoned. Before David became king, he was hunted by Saul and forced to live in hiding. Before Jesus fulfilled his purpose, he was rejected, falsely accused, and crucified. The greater the calling, the greater the battle. This pattern is not an exception but a spiritual truth. Those who are destined for something great will always experience resistance. A woman who carries a divine assignment will often find herself facing unexpected challenges. Doors may close, people may betray her, and circumstances may try to discourage her. It is not because she is incapable, but because her destiny carries impact. The enemy is not fighting against where she is. He is fighting against where she is going. He knows that if she ever fully steps into her purpose, she will influence, inspire, and change lives. That is why the opposition comes. Not to break her, but to stop her before she reaches her full potential. There are moments when the weight of the battle feels too heavy, when the struggles seem endless, and giving up feels like the easiest option. But the enemy only fights what he fears. The intensity of the battle is a reflection of the magnitude of the destiny ahead. The greater the calling, the more determined the opposition. The hardships are not a sign to quit, but a sign to press forward with even greater determination. The enemy operates through fear, doubt, and discouragement. He whispers lies, making it seem like the struggle is too much to bear, like success is impossible, like purpose is out of reach. But those lies are proof that he is afraid. If he truly believed she had no future, he would not waste time trying to stop her. If he truly thought she was weak, he would not send so much resistance. His attacks are proof that she carries something powerful inside of her, something that threatens everything he stands against. A woman who understands this truth no longer fights from a place of fear, but from a place of confidence. She knows that the battle is not just about her, it is about the lives she is called to impact, the doors she is meant to open, and the change she is destined to bring. Every trial, every hardship, every moment of struggle is shaping her for the very thing the enemy is afraid of. The opposition is not a sign of defeat, but a sign of significance. The struggles are not a punishment, but a preparation. No matter how fierce the battle, the enemy cannot stop what God has already ordained. The moment she realizes this, fear loses its power, and she begins to walk in the authority of her destiny. The enemy may try to hinder, delay, or discourage, but he cannot stop what has already been set in motion. The battles she faces today are only proof that her future is powerful, and no force can stand against what has already been divinely planned. Faith is not tested in times of ease, but in moments of uncertainty, struggle, and adversity. It is easy to trust when everything is going well, but true faith is revealed in the storm. Life is filled with challenges, and there will be moments when everything seems to go against what was hoped for. Promises may seem delayed, doors may close, and battles may arise, but it is in these moments that standing strong in faith becomes essential. Faith is not about seeing the outcome, it is about believing even when nothing makes sense. It is about standing firm, knowing that what has been promised will come to pass no matter how long it takes or how difficult the journey becomes. Every great leader, every person of purpose has had to stand strong in faith despite overwhelming obstacles. Abraham was given a promise that he would become the father of nations, yet years passed before it came to fulfillment. Joseph had dreams of leadership, but before stepping into his destiny, he was betrayed, imprisoned, and forgotten. David was anointed king as a young man, but had to endure years of hiding and hardship before ascending to the throne. Their stories prove that faith is not about immediate results. It is about trust, perseverance, and endurance. The process may not always be easy, but the promise is always certain. Standing strong in faith requires an unshakable belief that what is meant to be will happen in its appointed time. It means not being moved by circumstances or discouraged by delays. The waiting season can often feel unbearable, but it is in the waiting that faith is strengthened. It is where trust is developed, where patience is built, and where resilience is forged. When the answer seems far away, faith says to keep going, to keep believing, and to keep expecting. It refuses to be shaken by what is seen and instead holds on to what is promised. Challenges will always arise to test faith. There will be moments of doubt, moments of fear, and moments when giving up seems like the easiest option. But faith does not waver based on emotions or circumstances. It stands firm, knowing that difficulties are temporary and that breakthroughs come to those who refuse to quit. A woman who stands strong in faith understands that opposition is not a sign to retreat, but a sign to press forward. She knows that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth, and every struggle is a stepping stone toward her destiny. Faith is not about avoiding battles, it is about facing them with courage. It is about trusting in the process, even when it does not make sense. The journey of faith is not always clear, but it is always purposeful. Even when the road is uncertain, even when the struggles are great, faith says to keep moving forward. It declares that the best is yet to come and that no challenge is greater than the promise. The path may be filled with trials, but those who stand strong in faith will always see the fulfillment of what has been spoken over their lives. A woman who walks in faith does not allow fear to dictate her decisions. She understands that faith is not just a feeling but a way of life. It is the confidence that no matter how difficult the journey, she is never alone. She does not rely on her own strength, but on a power greater than herself. She knows that even when she cannot see the way has already been made for her. Her faith becomes her anchor, her guide, and her foundation. No matter what comes against her, she stands firm, knowing that victory is already hers. Victory is not a possibility, it is a certainty. No matter how fierce the battle, no matter how long the journey, the outcome has already been decided. The struggles, challenges, and trials may seem overwhelming, but they are only temporary. They are part of the process, not the final destination. The obstacles standing in the way are not there to stop progress, but to strengthen faith, build resilience, and prepare for what is ahead. The battle may be intense, but the victory is assured. Many times it feels like the struggles are never ending, as if every step forward is met with resistance. But this is not a sign of defeat, it is proof of progress. The enemy does not fight what is not a threat. The opposition is not an indication of failure, but confirmation of destiny. The greater the purpose, the greater the battles, but no battle is greater than the promise of victory. Every setback is temporary, every delay is part of the plan, and every challenge is shaping the person who will walk into triumph. History is filled with examples of those who faced overwhelming odds, yet emerged victorious. Joseph was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and imprisoned before he reached his destiny. David was hunted by Saul before he became king. Even Jesus faced rejection, betrayal, and suffering before the ultimate victory. Their stories revealed that hardship does not mean defeat. It means preparation, it means refining, it means the victory ahead is far greater than what is currently seen. There will be moments when giving up seems like the only option, when the weight of the struggle feels unbearable and the road ahead seems impossible. But this is where faith must take over. Victory is not determined by what is seen, but by what is known. The promises spoken over a life are unshakable, and nothing can change what has already been declared. Even when the circumstances seem unfavorable, the outcome remains unchanged. The victory is already secured. The process is simply unfolding. Every storm has an end, every battle has a conclusion, and every struggle has a breakthrough. No challenge lasts forever. The darkest night always gives way to the morning, and the heaviest burden eventually lifts. The moment of greatest difficulty is often the moment right before the breakthrough. That is why endurance is key. That is why persistence is necessary. The finish line is not as far as it seems, and the promise is closer than it appears. Victory is not about avoiding struggles, it is about overcoming them. It is about standing firm in faith, refusing to be moved by circumstances, and pressing forward with confidence. The enemy may try to discourage, delay, or distract, but he cannot change the outcome. The battle has already been won. The struggles faced today are only stepping stones leading to a future of triumph. What seems impossible now will soon be a testimony of what was conquered. A woman walking in victory understands that her current struggles are not her final story. She knows that everything she is going through is leading her to something greater. She does not allow fear to take hold, nor does she let doubt dictate her decisions. she keeps moving forward knowing that her victory is already written. No matter how hard the battle, no matter how long the process, she will rise. The challenges will pass, the trials will end, and the promises will be fulfilled. The victory is certain. It is only a matter of time before it is revealed.